I'm trying to start this video, Swirly. Go on now. Go on. Get on out of here. I know, buddy. I know. I know. Ugh. Okay, bud. I know. I know. I know, buddy. I know. Why all of a sudden? Why? Why? Okay, hi, pretty. Ugh. All right. Okay, yes, Mama loves you both. Mwah. I know. Okay, so anyways, sorry about that. What's up, Friendzoneies? Thanks for tuning back in. I wanted to come to you today with differences in interracial dating. So, we know interracial dating in this country, when people think of it, they usually think of white race, black race mixture, but it can be multiple different types of mixtures, of course. Black and Asian, black, Hispanic, that's an ethnic group, and whatever. So there can be a lot of different combinations. So I will speak particularly about the black-white combination, since that's what I am experienced with personally, okay? And I've mentioned this in other videos about interracial dating and why I don't make videos being like, putting interracial dating over any other type of dating. And one of the main reasons why I don't, the reason is because of the cultural differences that you have in interracial dating. And like I've said in other videos, I don't think black people are given, I don't think African Americans particularly, I'm an African American, so there's lots of different black people from different places in America. I'm African American, so that is such a distinct history. Oh, I was about to yell at Swirly because I thought he jumped on the counter. You saw I was like, all right, but he jumped on his cat tree, not the counter, which is why we got it. All right, cats belong on cat trees, not counters. That's gross. I had somebody tell me that I was gross for having my litter box not in the bathroom. But their cats are walking in the kitchen sink, walking on the table, cat hair everywhere. Okay. Anyways, I digress. Cultural differences. See, that's a cultural difference, I feel like. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Because I never saw nobody else. Well, no, I did. I did see other white people letting their cats jump on their counters and stuff. I don't get it at all. But I've also been around white people who don't let their cats do that. So I don't know what the cultural norm is for that. I know for black people, I don't think it's even culturally normal to have a cat, to have any pets. Like, that's our cultural norm, is like not having pets. And when my family found out that Swirly, this is such a sidebar, I don't care. When my family found out that Swirly and Pretty like use a litter box, and they're like, they walk on the litter and they take the shit, and then they keep it moving, like there's no like washing them off after every time, and then they like jump on the couch, or they'll jump on you. They were like so disgusted, but I just gotten used to it because I've had them for years. And I always wanted a cat, so I don't know. And I'm a germaphobe, but like I have rules with them. Like I don't let them jump on, the only thing they're allowed to jump on is the couch, unfortunately, because they got used to it from us moving from place to place. So it's just too much to keep reprimanding them about the couch. But everything else, no, that's off limits. Your cat, your places on cat surfaces. Anyways, okay, back to what I was saying. Cultural differences. Ugh. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked, okay? So anyways, interracial dating has cultural differences, and that was one of them. It wasn't too much of a sidebar. Okay. And like I said, I don't think that African Americans' cultural differences are respected in this country. It's like, well, you were slaves for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, and then you've been criminalized thereafter. So anything great you have comes from us, your captors, your colonizers. Yeah, so I think that that's the feeling. It's like, no, well, if you do anything good, it's a white behavior, right? Whether you talk like this, right? Um, or your level of education. People will associate that with white culture, you succeeding. You know what I'm saying? Um, so then everything else that you do that is different and is not white culture was obviously bad, right? And so the cultural differences that you can experience in an interracial relationship would be, I mean, from the jump set, right? When people get together and they want to introduce each other to their families. That's such a bad idea for interracial couples, white, black interracial couples. I mean, um, you know, it's pretty well known that the older people are in this country, the less progressive they are. So interracial dating is a very progressive idea, a very progressive action, if done appropriately and well. If not, you're just contributing to the nonsense, basically. But anyways, so then you're bringing your black partner to meet your white family, or you're bringing your white partner to meet your black family. Okay, well, we know that the black partner is probably going to experience racism. It's like, why would you even do it? Why would you even do it? If you can't introduce you to their family, then why would they date you? You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the reason why a lot of people don't interracially date. Like I said, I've said in many videos, I grew up in foster care, so I wasn't worried about introducing my boy. I was a little nervous about introducing a white boyfriend who later became my husband to my family, just because I was like, they might say something. They might say something about it, about you being white. They might say something about you being white. They might acknowledge it in some type of way. Somebody might bust a joke. Okay, but there's a difference between, somebody in my family saying that you're white and then you taking me to your family and then your family's just racist. And racism is, it's microaggressions, right? It's alienation, it's ostracizing people. It's not just violent acts, right? Because black people have not been disenfranchised in this country simply by violent acts alone, okay, but by legislation and laws that have been written into place, and laws basically criminalizing black people from congregating, and anytime that we do, something together, next thing you know, it's unlawful. That's purpose. That's done purposely. Okay, so racism is so much more than just, violent criminal acts, right? Because a lot of racism has been legalized. So you're bringing your black partner to that. It's like, come on, you know that your family's not progressive. If you look how progressive America is as a whole, that's been proven with this election, is that it's not progressive country at all. In fact, it's not. It's still very backward. It still very much wants a permanent underclass and workforce for themselves, is what I believe this election shows us. So you got to think very carefully. You got to honestly believe that your family is not racist, which is huge, which is like, are you Jane Elliott? Are you Matt McGorry? Are you Jane Elliott or Matt McGorry? Are you one of the white people in the Uhuru Solidarity movement? If you're not, like, you're probably struggling with some racism. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you guys can't just be bringing black people to meet your families. It's crude. It's actually crude. It's like, why would you subject them to be around that, When you know their thoughts, especially when it comes to dating. It's like, if anything turns that racial switch on, it's really the idea of, like, their white child, being contaminated with the blackness, right? Darkness, right? I'm sorry. Oh my God. Just racists are just so stupid, they're so stupid. No, but they really are. Like, they're like stupid people, just backwards and not progressive. So you gotta watch bringing someone that you claim to care about and or love around people like that. And so that's why you really need to consider if interracial dating is for you, because if you're not considerate like that and you're like, oh, me and my family, and you're not thinking about how your family is going to be towards her or him, that's inconsiderate, right? So like I said, there is a difference between a white person bringing a black person, given the history of the United States, to meet their family, versus a black person bringing a white person to meet their family. There's just a difference. You might get some jokes if you're a white person meeting a black person's family, but jokes are a lot different than, like, complete racism, discrimination, harassment, like the things that these people do to make sure you don't ever join their family or fuck up their family in their point of view. So you gotta be careful with that. What else is there about cultural differences in interracial dating? I mean, that's a huge one, you know, meeting the family, you know, how we argue, how we disagree, how we communicate, you know, it's totally different. It's totally different, you know. And I'm not just talking about my experience with being in an interracial relationship. I'm talking about my experiences with going to PWIs my entire life as well. And then growing up in the hood in foster care. So I had very, very polarized experiences when it comes to race, okay? And we communicate differently, we argue differently because we're coming from two very different worlds for the most part. Like I said, when I'm talking about African Americans, when you're talking about African Americans, you're talking about a disenfranchised people, period. And you're talking about a history here. You know, and I make it very clear, you will respect my differences in culture the same way that you would respect Asian, Indian, Hispanic, white, you know, he's not white, okay. Asian, Indian, Hispanic, you will respect my differences in culture as well. Or it won't work because I already understand yours. I've been conditioned in it very well. That's what happens. We are conditioned. And we have to assimilate into the dominant society. So we know the rules for the most part. You know, especially when you go to PWIs the way that I did. So I don't think that enough Black people in interracial relationships really demand hardly anything out of their partners, honestly. Except that they're just there, you know, like, so they're just so thankful that they're there. It's like, no, you got to do a lot more than that, actually. You have to understand my cultural differences. You have to acknowledge them. You have to acknowledge the history of our peoples, and you have to accept the fact and be thankful for the fact that I've chosen to be in this relationship despite those differences. So I need, you know, you got to step up, got to get on your Jane Elliott, got to get on your Matt McGorry's, got to, you know, really, you just have to understand. You just have to get it the way that we've had to get it. You'll just have to get it. And some people don't like that. You know, they want to argue 24/7. I'm not arguing anything. That's another cultural difference. You know, they get, I would say white people enjoy arguing. They enjoy back and forth banter. Black people don't like that. You know, we're like, let's come to a solution because things are going to get heated. We keep going back and forth, and there is a solution in this, you know. And I think that white people really enjoy, they're like, no, we're different, and that's okay. It's like, okay, difference is great, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm really done talking about this, actually. I'm done discussing it with you completely. You will get it or you won't. And if you don't, get out of my way. Get out of my way. Because things are a-changing. And this is one of them. And I think that's for the better, because basically Black people need to, you know, put themselves, we need to put ourselves on a higher level, basically. You know, we need to demand more, we need to do more, we need to expect more, all of that stuff. You know, and we've been conditioned to expect less and receive less because of, you know, the conditioning that goes on into this country. So we need to understand that, okay? Cultural differences, you know, when you have such huge differences in communicating. I mean, and that's why a lot of interracial relationships work with coon couples, if you will, you know, with a Black person is relationships work more in interracial dating because the Black person has completely assimilated to the dominant society, right? And they play that role that they understand they need to play. And they've conditioned themselves in and out to do this. Okay, if you are woke, right, or your chakras are open and you got your third eye and all that other stuff, Black consciousness, if you know your damn history, you know better than to just sit there and let somebody have their convoluted ass opinions about something and be, you know, having it around you. You can have them, but you're not gonna have it around me. So, you know, you have to get with it or get off the bus, like Stevie J says. You know, these people have brainwashed themselves thoroughly, And they will be, if not some of the hardest people to have a discussion with about actual Black history and American history. Because African American history is American history. It's a huge part of American history that is just like, maybe we'll bring it up. Maybe we'll talk about it. If you take an elective in college, like really, you gotta major in it, basically. So anyways, a lot of cultural differences. Too many to go into these relationships blindly, right? And you'll notice you'll notice other people of color groups in America don't interracially date as much as Black people do, except for Asian women, I believe. The point is, most people don't interracially date as much as Black people do because of so much conditioning that we've had, and because the other groups understand that the cultural differences are extreme. And guess what? You know why people don't date interracially that much either? Is because they understand the differences. They get it. The only people that don't get it are Black people, because we've been lied to at a base level. You know, they condition you in school, you know, as a young child to basically not be upset about what's been done to Black people, not be upset about slavery, not, you know, you don't have to be upset about all that because Martin Luther King came and he, you know, he changed everything. Oh, we killed him. But it was all for the holding of hands, right? And you have to understand that most dominant societies do this to the people that they have conquered, colonized, enslaved, because they don't want problems in their society. Duh. Because if you're still living disenfranchised in their society and you understand everything you've been through and you're paying taxes, you're going to have a problem with that. So my overall point of this video is we have cultural differences, and let's start to have a problem with the way that Black people are. Us as Black people, let's start to have a problem with it. You know, let's hold your partners accountable and see what happens. You know, there was a wave of interracial dating, but I honestly feel like, you know, me and my husband have been together for, I'll say almost a decade. So, you know, we've known each other for over a decade. So there's, you know, you either have it or you don't. You know, it's either right or it's not. And your partner is either going to be willing to undo their conditioning as well, because everyone's conditioned, right? Or, you know, is this really for you? Something you got to ask yourself. Okay, whatever, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm really surprised I made this video. Sorry about my cats meowing all over the place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with somebody that you know needs to hear it. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.